Hello and welcome to your first PHP tutorial. Go ahead and first of all download XAMPP for your software, and when you have done that, go into your Windows C folder, XAMPP and htdocs, and I already have a file prepared which is called first.php and it's just a text document. Go ahead and edit it with Notepad, which I have right here, and open up a local host with slash and your file name, whatever it is. It has to be .php, by the way. And as we can see right here, all I've done is I've just made simple text in my HTML code. So what is PHP, you might ask? PHP is basically an acronym for Hypertext Preprocessor, and it is widely used open source scripting language. PHP files can contain text, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP code. So the codes are executed on the server and the result is returned to the browser as plain HTML. And so, as we saw, the extensions have to have .php. To use it right, we have to have our XAMPP control panel. So as you see, I have random text here, and what I can do is I can write my PHP, let's say, openers and closers, and so this is what they look like, and we close it just like this. So if I were to add in, let's say, some HTML code right here, so an h1 tag, and when we save and refresh, you'll see that we will get an error. So to get this code to work, we have to type in PHP echo, and we have to add in quotation marks, and which you have to do, and after every single PHP line we have to add in a semicolon. As we see, we have our h1 text. If we view the source of our PHP file, what we'll see is that our PHP code is nowhere to be seen. So as we see, we have this code right here, however it's just HTML. This is good for the audience of your website to not see the secrets, quote unquote, of your web page. To move on, let's go ahead and create a PHP variable, which we do by typing in a $, and let's say K1 for example, and I'm going to add in an equal sign. So the echo needs to come right below it, and we're going to call basically our variable, and we're going to write K1. So as we see, we don't put any quotation marks here, and if we save right here, we'll have our text. Just so we see a difference, let me change it to hello. We see hello, and if I were to put quotation marks right here, this is what we'll get. It will basically turn into text. So let's use something called a var dump, which basically lets us see the type of variable, and in our case it is a string, and the 14 is the amount of characters. If we were to write another variable, so let's say K2, and we make it a 5, and let's write it without echo, change this to 2, and if I save and refresh, we're going to see the word int, which is integer, and we're going to get the number 5, so an integer, basically the number. Let's move on, create a $K3, let's make it 22.7 for example, and what we're going to see is its type is a float, and the number is 22.7. Let's move on, let's create a fourth variable in which we'll write the word false. Let's also change this to 4. Now when we save and refresh, we'll get bool, which is actually a boolean if you remember from JavaScript. Now let's try and do something like a mathematical expression. So we're going to make a fifth variable, and I'm going to type in $K3, so my third variable, plus $K2. Now through echo, I'm going to get it displayed. Save, refresh, 27.7. So that is the sum of 22.7 plus 5. And obviously, besides the adding, we can do subtracting as well. We can also multiply them. We can also add in a percentage. And so this is also the remainder operator, if you remember. So this is basically a rounded version of 2.7, as that is what 20 divided by 5 would be. So to move on, in PHP we also have the idea of concatenation, and unlike in JavaScript, we do it through this dot. Let's say we want to get our first variable displayed right here with our fifth variable. If I save and refresh, we're going to see the number 2 and the word hello. So this is through concatenation. What we can do is we can cut this out of here, paste it here, do the same thing right here. Don't forget your quotation marks. And what we're going to see is our 2 and our hello right next to each other. And as we see, it looks a little bit weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another quotation mark here, a dot here, a dot and a quotation mark here as well. Now when I save and refresh, I'm going to get them right next to each other without the dot. Now in PHP we also comment with double slashes or the slash asterisk if we're commenting on many things. Now let's talk about something else in PHP, which is strlen, which is string length. And it's self-explanatory. It returns the length of the given or selected string. So let's say we want to know the length of our first variable. It is going to be 5, as there are 5 characters or letters in hello. Let's also comment on this. Let's discuss another function of PHP. By the way, these are all functions, which is going to be str word count. It is also self-explanatory. So let's discuss str word count. Let's also keep using our sk1 $K1. Now when I save, I'm going to get 1, as it is self-explanatory. Hello is only one word. So if I were to add hello world to this, I'll get 2 and so on. Now I have 5, as I have 5 words or whatever in my first variable. Continue. Let's comment on this and let's type in strrev. We'll also use it with our $K1, so our first variable. And so what this does is it basically reverses the string or the text. Let's see. As we see, hello world is reversed. Continue. Let's comment on this. Let's go ahead and type in echo, and we're going to type in str replace. So we're basically going to replace a word. So we have hello world right here. Let's go ahead and replace hello with, let's say, hey, and we need to put where we want it to be replaced, otherwise it won't work. So it's in variable 1, and if I refresh, I'm going to get hey world instead of hello world, as echo str replace just replaced my string. Let's also comment on this, and let's talk about arrays, which we're familiar with from JavaScript. PHP also has arrays, so we're going to create one right now. We add in a $, and let's type in cars. Let's just say, for example, we're talking about cars. We're going to type in array. Inside, let's type in car brands like Volvo. BMW and Toyota. We add in a semicolon, and using var dump, we're going to get it displayed just like this. When we save and refresh, we're going to get all of them shown. So at the beginning is shown how many values our array has. Our 0 value is a string which has 5 letters and it says Volvo. Our second value is also a string, so text basically, with 3 letters, BMW, and the second or basically the third value, which is number 2, is also a string with 6 letters and it is Toyota. If we want the audience of our page to only see 1, what we do is we basically type in our cars selector, and in square brackets, let's say we want them to only see value 0, so the first one, we're going to write 0, and all we're going to get is Volvo, as that is my first value, which is 0. And once more with concatenation, I can get 2 displayed together, so we're writing the same thing, just changing the value. And if I save refresh, I'm going to get Volvo and Toyota, as those are the 0 and the 2 values. And as we see, they're basically stuck together without any spaces, so through concatenation we'll add a space in between them, like so. Let's continue. Let's comment on these codes. And just as in JavaScript, we also have function in PHP. So let's go ahead and make a function f1, and let's try and get the word hello, for example. And so obviously this won't work from our knowledge in JavaScript. What we have to do is we have to call our f1. I also forgot to put brackets here. It still wouldn't have worked, by the way. See, we're still getting an error. And if I go ahead and type in my f1, and if I save and now in our f1 argument we have to write, let's say, Simon, and right here we're going to make a new variable, so k7. Now through concatenation, let's add our k7 variable. We're still going to get a warning, as we need to put in quotation marks right here. We're going to see the words hello Simon. We can call another function, and we'll call this one Ali, for example. And if I save refresh, I'm going to get hello Ali. And what I can also do is I can add another argument to my first one, so something like good morning. And for my second one, I can add good night. Then I also have to add in another variable, so k8, my 8th variable. And instead of hello, let's go ahead and type in k8. Let's add in BR tags in between. Now let's save, let's refresh. Let's also add another BR here just to make it look a little bit nicer. And I'm going to get good morning Simon, and I'm going to get good night Ali. So that was all that I had prepared for today's PHP tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.